So the sun is killing you, and there is plenty of documentation out there to show that if you get a ton of severe sunburns over and over, there is a pretty high chance you're going to get some sort of melanoma or some sort of skin cancer. Like, there is no doubt about it. Not only that, but one of the biggest arguments against this is, yeah, but that's your natural way of getting vitamin D. However, there is plenty of studies out there that show it's easy to get vitamin D. You can take vitamin D supplements. You can eat a variety diet to get vitamin D, and it will boost the thing that you need it to boost so you can get the calcium you need to get to not have brittle bones. This is been shown. However, there is another side of this that doesn't get talked about nearly as much as the sun exposure side, and that is the lack of sunlight is twice as likely to kill you from a all-cause mortality, meaning there is all kinds of things that completely wipe you out if you do not get enough sun exposure. Now, this isn't just some woo-woo science. There was a Swedish study done with 30,000 women, and what they found was the lack of sunlight was almost as bad, if not as bad, as smoking cigarettes. Yeah, it's pretty freaking serious, and it never gets brought up. Now, if you're wondering what all is included in the all-cause mortality, well, it's a whole host of things, like from cardiovascular disease, type 1 diabetes, cancer, or multiple sclerosis. There is a ton of different things that go completely south for you if you do not get enough exposure to sunlight. Now, one of those that often gets brought up that I already talked about is vitamin D deficiency. And like I said, you can get vitamin D from supplements. Your body absorbs it just as well. And a lot of foods are actually fortified with vitamin D because, the food people are just so kind to us and they want us to live longer so we can buy more of their expensive ass groceries. However, the problem is most people, including myself, do not have a very varied diet. Not only that, most people, including myself, do not take supplements to get their vitamin needs. That's just not something that people do. Now, there are quite a few people out there that do it. However, the majority do not. Now, like I said, the vitamin D thing gets brought up a lot. However, there is more that your body uses the sunlight for than just vitamin D production, and that would be nitric oxide. Now, if you're curious what nitric oxide even does to you, well, it kind of like lowers your blood pressure, and it also prevents you from like getting a lot of cardiovascular diseases. So it is pretty freaking helpful to get this in your system. Now, obviously, this sounds like a lot of great things that you're getting from the sun. However, it doesn't counteract the fact that the sun is still trying to kill you, and if you get sunburned often, well, it's going to lead to a lot higher risk. However, it's more like a damned if you do, and then like you're twice as likely to be damned if you don't. You know what I mean? It is a very unique little situation to be in. However, I do get annoyed whenever I see people pushing, oh, don't go into the sun because it will kill you, without saying the other part. Well, not going out in the sun will kill you just as well. Anyways, I thought this was interesting, and I thought you all would think it was interesting. So with that being said, I hope you all have a wonderful day. Okay, bye.